Hello everybody and happy Friday. I hope you are doing well. I am so glad it's Friday. I'm about ready to just collapse. I want to go take a nap so bad. But I thought I would pop in while I still have a little bit of energy today and let you know what I am currently reading and what some of my plans are for this weekend. So first of all, in December, I'm trying to just do comfort reading. I'm just reading what I feel like in the moment. I'm ignoring TBRs and the last remnants of my annual goals and everything, and I'm just reading what I feel like. It's been good, but it's actually really hard for me to let go of, checking another thing off of a list. I'm very challenge driven sometimes. So let's say it's been challenging to just read at whim. That probably says a lot about my personality. Anyway, what I'm currently in the middle of, I am buddy reading Explorer by C.J. Cherryh with Kazan from Always Doing. This is the 6th Foreigner novel and the conclusion to the 2nd trilogy. And by the time I'm done reading another chapter or two today, I'll be about halfway through it. This is quite a long book. In fact, I think it might be the longest in the series so far. And it's a weird mix of exciting, interesting things happening, communication, aliens, politics, and also kind of slower pacing than I was expecting. I'm not really sure if this book feels slow and wordy because I'm not in the mood for it, or if it's like genuinely slower than the other books, but I am enjoying it, but it hasn't been as compulsively readable as the previous 2 books were. The next thing I'm going to definitely finish this evening, and I'm so excited to finally be done with that, and that is Lena Krohn collected fiction. This is a big collection, like 800 plus pages of all of Krohn's fiction that has been translated into English. She is a Finnish SFF author, and I think that this book was a Christmas present from my brother and sister-in-law in 2017. So I've had it for almost exactly 3 years, and I've been actively reading things from it for the last 2. So I'm almost done. I have read all of the novels in this, which I've talked about individually, or will have talked about individually. And today I'm finishing up the excerpts and short stories section at the end, and then I'll be done. I think I've got maybe about 30 pages left. There are some essays and afterwards and stuff and the final couple of pages, but I've actually already read most of those over just skim reading them over the years and stuff. So I'll be very glad to finally have read this. I didn't read all of these 800 pages this year, but I read a good chunk of them. My audiobook right now is Otherland, City of Golden Shadows by Tad Williams. I'm reading this with a group of friends. It's our book for December. And I'm listening to it on audiobook because I thought I would have a lot of audiobooking time in December, while I'm doing other things. It turns out I haven't been listening to audiobooks. I'm only a quarter of the way through this, and it's 28 hours long. It just turns out I've been watching more of people's Vlogmas videos on YouTube than listening to audiobooks so far, but I will get it read. It's actually been very good on audio for me. It's a massive book, and I tend to be a bit leery of listening to novels on audio sometimes, especially if they're really long and complicated, but I feel like this one is just really easy to digest, and the narrator is very clear, and clearly speaking narrators means that I can speed up the audiobook considerably. So I will be working more on this one as I am knitting on my dad's Christmas sweater. The only other thing that I have been actively reading this past week that I haven't finished yet is Zion's fiction. I started reading this anthology back in November for my A to Z challenge. Obviously it was for the letter Z. And I've really struggled getting the motivation to read more of this. I think I've read 2 of the stories in the past 2 weeks, and I kind of forget to come back to it and read more. I don't know what's going on with me and this anthology. It is interesting. I've actually been impressed by a couple of the stories, but I feel like I got really irritated by the introduction, and that really colored my perception of how I was supposed to read and enjoy the anthology. And it's just, it sounds absurd, but that introduction just irritated me. So this anthology I might set aside and come back to and finish up next year sometime, since it's just something about it isn't quite working for me right now. So that is everything that I am currently reading. And then I have 4 books from the library that are on my this would be nice to read in December for, you know, just excitement, comfort, what have you. So I'll go over these really quickly. Obviously, I have Piranesi by Susanna Clarke, and I really want to read this, and I feel like it's going to be a really readable, atmospheric book, and I might read it like an entire day. So I think I'll get to this one maybe when I've started my Christmas vacation. I'll have to read it earlier if I have to take it back to the library though. One of the books that I have just been saving for the right time is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. Everybody I know who has read this has been like, it's so good, it's so sweet, all the feels. And this month, I want all of the feels. Something that will also probably make me feel, Ring Shout by P. Djeli Clark. This is his newest novella that's out, and I'm hoping I will really enjoy it. I've enjoyed everything else I've read by Clark. I really like his style, and but I've heard from a couple of people that it might be a little bit challenging to read. Obviously, it tackles racism and the Ku Klux Klan and all of that in like an alternate version of our world. So, but I really want to check it out and see what it's like. And then lastly, I got this nonfiction book called Breath, The New Science of a Lost Art by James Nestor. My dad read this earlier in the year and he's recommended it to me a couple of times, so I grabbed it when I saw it at the library, and we'll give this one a shot. I mean, I'm relatively interested in this idea of like how to breathe and the benefits of that. It'll probably be good for me right now for stress and anxiety reasons. So those are 4 books that I will probably get to sometime later in this month, or maybe this weekend if I feel like starting new things. My plans aside from reading this weekend is to try to chill out as much as possible. I think it's supposed to be a very rainy, potentially snowy weekend here. I really hope it snows. I love when it snows. I'm in the minority there, but I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to drive in it, so I look forward to it. But I'm hoping that we get some nice, cold, wintry weather, and I will stay cozy inside, finish up my Christmas cards. I love sending Christmas cards. It's a really big tradition for me. I've got a little bit of Christmas decorating left to do in my office. I have my living room done. I just haven't done the rest of my house. And I'll probably start baking Christmas cookies, which, you know, kind of have downsized Christmas, New Year's plans this year, but you still have to have a good selection of Christmas cookies, even if it's just me and my parents. So that is what I will be doing, plus copious amounts of knitting, because I have 2 sweaters I want to get done by Christmas. I don't have them here to show you guys, but you've seen them in my previous Friday Reads video. So I think that's everything from me. I hope you guys have been well and happy reading this weekend, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.